Ugh. Okay, let's just call this what it is. This is like a 6-month board meeting of Chris World TV subscribers. If you remember, at the end of April, I did sort of a status update on where the channel had started and how far we'd taken it up to the end of April. And so I figured, since it's sort of the 6-month period here, we're halfway through the first year, it'd be a good idea to sort of just go through the good and bad and the ugly of what's transpired over the last 6 months. If you remember, actually, before I even go into that, let me just give you an update on the M3. This has just been a nightmare. I took the M3 in to get the stone chips fixed on the front spoiler that you've seen, and also the side quarter panel. And they fixed the side quarter panel pretty quickly. This thing was only supposed to be in the shop for like 3 or 4 days. That's pretty much their typical turnaround. And they're going to take off in order to do the rear quarter panel, they're going to take out the glass in the rear. They're going to take out the rear bumper. I mean, they're going to really do it the way it should be done, so everything's blended in really nice and smooth, so you're not going to see any paint lines or anything like that. And they're going to take off the front bumper in the front and fix everything there. Well, the problem that's been happening is they can't get the damn clear bra off. And they've been at this thing, they've been MFing this thing for like a week and a half to get this thing off. And it's literally coming off in pieces smaller than the size of a pencil eraser. And I even went over there and tried to mess around with it for a little bit. It's just, it's unbelievably horrible. They've called everybody in town to try to figure out how to get this thing off. Heat, steam, water, you name it. And it's just, I don't know why it's almost like the thing's just been baked on there. It was probably put on there at the very beginning when the car was bought and hasn't been addressed since. So that's probably why it's hard to get off. So that's at least 10, 11 years old. So that's been taking up all their time. They're just picking at it little by little to try to get this thing off. And like they said, usually it takes them 30 minutes to get one of these things off. The longest it ever took them before this one was 2 hours. And so they've been on this thing for God knows how long, a week, week and a half. So, God willing, they get that thing off, they can get the front bumper fixed and painted and stuff, and I'll get the car back. So I took it in on the 24th, I think, of June. Hopefully I'll get it back the early part of next week. So, I'm just waiting to hear from them. So hopefully sooner rather than later. But in any case, okay, put that aside, M3 stuff aside, back to the channel itself. If you remember into April, we kind of had a status on where things were. Let me just sort of recap that from the beginning. If you want to rewatch that, you can watch it up here in the corner, or up here in the corner, whichever corner it shows up in. But at the end of April, it had about 150 subscribers. And I don't remember what the total number of page views was at the end of April, but about 150 subscribers. Okay, so now at the end of 6 months, we got 318 subscribers. So that's the good news. The good news is we're growing. The good news is what took 4 months to get 150, we basically doubled the channel subscribers in less than half the time it took to get the first 150. So we're kind of moving exponentially forward here, which is a good thing. So it took 4 months to get 150 subscribers. It took 2 months to get another 150 plus subscribers. So we're making progress there, and I'm happy about that. That's a good thing. And also another good thing is some of the videos that we posted early on, they keep generating page views, which is good. And that helps the channel out too, because people who are just surfing YouTube, they're searching, putting in their search, in their search box things for M3s and Porsches and stuff like that. My videos are starting to come up. And they're also getting, I see them starting to pop up in the suggested videos areas. I've actually got several YouTube channels, so if I flip back and forth between those channels that aren't connected to one another, I'm actually starting to see some of the Chris World TV YouTube videos getting suggested to some of my other channels. So I assume that's happening to other people out there as well. So that's another good thing. So subscriber base is growing, page views are growing. Now, let's put it all in perspective, however. We've got about 45,000 page views in the first 6 months. That's 6 months of work on my part to get 45,000 page views. Now, just think about that for a moment. The amount of time and effort that I've put in to create like 33 or 35 videos to get 45,000 page views, there's probably at least 100 hours or more into that. Oh, probably more than that, probably 150 at least. And there are actually channels out there that will get 45,000 page views in an hour. So that's kind of humbling, you know, when you think about, I'm doing, you know, in 150 hours what somebody else is doing in an hour or two. So I'm working 1,000 times harder to get the same result, which can be discouraging at times. So that says two things. Number one, obviously the channel's not big enough because it doesn't have that many subscribers, so it doesn't generate the page views. Number two, I'm probably not as interesting. Number three, I need to create more content. So that's sort of the plan here. I'm going to create more content. Just been having some teething problems here. You know, my cars have been in and out of the garage. They've been in the shop. Weather issues, you know, work related. It hasn't been any one thing. It kind of just snowballed one after the other. So I hear you, man. I hear you. You wanted to see more M3 stuff, and I want to bring it to you, but I got to have my fucking car here in order to do it. So hopefully here in the next few days we'll get it back. I've done half of a 930 video. It's half done. I've done the outside of it. Then my batteries died, my camera died, all that stuff. The weather started to turn south, and so I didn't do the inside of that stuff. So that's like half done. I've got a couple other videos that are halfway done. So there are things in the pipeline here that I'm working on. You probably saw the shoe video that I did. That was just sort of an outlier I threw out there. Like I said, we're going to go in all kinds of directions here eventually. So some of the things might interest you, some might not, and that's fine. You know, I don't expect every video to be watched by every single person every single minute. And the statistics, the YouTube stats clearly they clearly say that that's happening because you know, it tells me how many minutes each video is being watched, and you know, if you have 300 subscribers and you get 150 page views, obviously not everybody's watching the video, which is fine. I understand that. So I've been thinking over the last few weeks, okay, what are some of the things that I can do here on the channel that might be different than what you're getting somewhere else? And I've thought about that, and I've come up with a couple ideas. And you let me know if you like these ideas or not. The main one is, you probably watched my video on how to buy a used car. If you haven't, I'll put that up here in the top so you can link directly to it. But I think one of the skill sets I have, I hate throwing around the word expert. I don't like to use expertise, anything like that. But I think if there's something that I can contribute to YouTube and to car enthusiasts out there, is to kind of just disseminate my knowledge on buying cars and what cars to look out for, what cars to try to avoid if you're trying to get the most car for your money, if you're trying to buy a car that you want to hold value and perhaps in a perfect world appreciate in value so you protect your investment. I think I have a really good track record of doing that. I think I have a good sense of what cars are the cars to kind of look out for. So I think what I'm going to do is, you guys are probably like this too. Tell me if you're not, but you're probably like me, and every week you kind of just fart around on Auto Trader and eBay Motors and Bring a Trailer and all these other websites that are selling cars and stuff. And you kind of just browse around and look around and see if you can find a deal somewhere. Even if you don't have any money to buy a car, you kind of just look around and see what's out there and go, oh, that's kind of a good deal. Man, if I had the money, I'd be jumping all over that. So I think what I'm going to do is periodically now throughout the channel, if I find cars out there that I think are good deals, or I think are interesting buys, potential buys, I'm going to sort of feature them on the channel and just bring them to your attention. And this isn't to say if I see a car on Bring a Trailer or something like that, I bring it to your attention and say it's, whatever it is, it's an 86 Porsche Carrera, 3.2 Carrera. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm telling you to go out and buy it. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily endorsing the car, endorsing the person selling it, or anything like that. I'm not calling anybody, I'm not calling the seller about anything. I'm just saying there might be more to this, and it might be something you want to look into. Obviously, you need to do your own due diligence on it if it interests you. And I make no warranties, express or implied, about any cars I may show on here that aren't mine. So it's purely informational, but I think what will happen is when I start sort of featuring some of these cars that I think are interesting, I think are good deals, it might push you in the right direction if you're looking for a particular car. And I've shown you some cars in the past. I can say, okay, yeah, that kind of reminds me of this car. It had some good things and bad things about it. This is sort of the price point I'm looking at. This is sort of where Chris said he thinks the price point for these cars are going to go in the future, where they go up or down. And this might be something that's worth looking into. So I think I'm going to start doing that. So that should be fun. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start recommending some specific cars that you might look at in order to sort of invest in. I hate the word invest because cars are, they're hard to invest in. Of course, anything right now is hard to invest in, but cars seem to be doing better than other things right now. But just particular cars that I think are very underappreciated in the market, and I think are undervalued in the market. And I've done a couple of videos on that stuff too, and just how to look for undervalued cars. But I think I'm going to push that more. I think I'm going to feature some, not specific cars, like not this specific car sold by this specific person, but a model of a car. A Mercedes 190 or a BMW M5 or something like that, a particular M5 series or something like that. And I'm going to bring these cars to your attention. I'm going to explain why I think they're undervalued in the market, why I think they're potential good buys for you if you can find a good one at a reasonable price. Let me give you a perfect example of one. Just off the top of my head is the 964 Porsche right now. You've got air-cooled 911s before the 964, which is 64 to 89 911s. And those are really hot right now. People want those cars, and they're paying a huge premium for them. If you got a 3.2 Carrera, if you got an early long-nose 911, those are going for a fortune right now. Obviously, if you got like an 89 Speedster or something like that, those are just crazy prices right now. But then you jump past the 964s, and the 993s are the last of the air-cooled, so they're going crazy right now, especially the turbos and stuff like that. So the 964 is sort of caught in the middle, and it was a sort of transition period from the old way in the air-cooled to a completely rethought, redesigned by Porsche for the 964. It's still air-cooled, but almost like 60-70% of the parts in that car were completely new compared to the previous generation. So it was a huge leap forward, and the styling may or may not be to everybody's liking, and I think that's why prices are down on those cars, and I think that's why they're undervalued right now, and I think they have the potential to do very well. Same with the 928s, the post-86 928s. So the 87 928 S4s onto the 90, I think they ended at 95, the 95 GTS 928. I think those are really good cars to look at. And so maybe I'll feature those two in an upcoming video, just start with there and work my way around different models and stuff like that. So that's another idea out there. One other thing I'm going to do is, and I kind of just noticed this by accident, and I've tried to be really good about responding to comments in the videos, and I try to respond to as many as I can as time allows. But I've noticed that a lot of people are asking the same questions over and over. So it dawned on me, well, see, when I answer the comments, I'm going in the YouTube admin area and just answering them because they all show up in one big long string of comments. And so I just go down and answer them. And they come from all different kinds of videos, so I don't even necessarily know which video they're referring to. I'm just making comments. So I've noticed that the comments coming from different videos are asking me the same questions. And so what I may do is I may go back from the very beginning and go through the last 6 months of comments and pick out a bunch of comments that I think are worth responding to here, because I'm sure a lot of you didn't read all the comments, and so you may have missed some of the responses that I gave to those comments. So I think that's going to be a worthwhile exercise on my part to go through a bunch of the comments and then post them here and respond to them here so everybody can listen to them at the same time. So I'll probably do that in the next week to 10 days or so. And I don't know how many I'll pull out. I'll pull out as many as I think are that you want to have a response to. But that should be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to that because I like responding to comments. I like the comments that I get, even if they're negative comments. That's fine. They don't bother me. I have a thick skin. Some of the comments in the last video about the Orlando shooting, hey, speak your piece, doesn't bother me. By the way, YouTube, they won't let me monetize that video probably because, I don't know, it's too offensive to somebody out there, but hey, that's okay. So comments, I'm going to do a better job of responding to comments that everybody can listen to. So I may, in the next 6 months, maybe every month or two, create a video and respond to the comments this way rather than just going through the comment section, because I know everybody doesn't read every comment that's out there, nor would I expect you to. So those are kind of just some of the ideas that I've got moving forward. Obviously, I'm going to try to feature the cars as much as I can. As soon as I get everything back in order and just kind of straightened out here, it's just been hectic. I entered the M3 into a show tomorrow, and I registered it 2 months ago. And like I said, I took the car to the paint and dent folks like 2 weeks ago, thinking that's plenty of time to get the car back and get it clean and take it to the show tomorrow. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. That was, that was a piece of content that I was going to create that I don't have now. And in fact, when I scheduled the car to get the paint chips fixed, I scheduled to get the window tint fixed like 8 or 9 days later. So that would also be done in anticipation of the show tomorrow. That's not done either. I had to cancel that. I'm going to have to reschedule that for probably late July or August. So, it's not any one thing. It's just a whole bunch of things that kind of just pile on, and then so they I just do the best I can. That's all I can do. Sometimes I'm at the mercy of others. So, so that's kind of where things are right now. The goals for the next 6 months. Here's kind of what I'm shooting for, and I don't know if this is pie in the sky or if it's realistic or not. But in the first 4 months, we got to 150 subscribers. Okay. After 6 months, we got to 318. So we're moving faster and we're moving forward. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If I can get to 1,000 by December 31st, I think that is that's a huge accomplishment for me. I don't know how that compares to any other site. Probably not very well, but that's okay. I'm not trying to be the best. Maybe I'm trying to be the best. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure the biggest. I want to be the best. With my personality, it's really hard to be the best. Let's put it that way. But if I can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I think that'll be big. And it's like anything on YouTube. And you guys are smart enough, you know this. You start out small and then you grow bigger. And as you get bigger, things speed up and things move exponentially. And I hope that's what happens here. That's the goal anyway. So if you have any questions or comments about how to get there, if you want to see other videos that I haven't done yet, like I said, I'm working on the 930 video. I want to do a bunch of outside shots. I want to do some moving shots. I got GoPros and all that stuff. I mean, I got the equipment to do it. I got wireless mics. I got camcorders. I got so much equipment. No one person should have this much, but it's just getting the time to do it and getting the cars here in order to do it. And sometimes it's really hard to do it by myself when I really need somebody else to do it. And I got to get my friends to, volunteer themselves, and they're lazy. They can be a pain in the ass at times. So that's hard to coordinate. And so you just, I got to do the best I can. That's all I can do. Plus I got a day job. I got like 3 or 4 day jobs. Some are part-time jobs. Some feel like full-time jobs that are part-time jobs. So hey, I'm not doing this for a living. There are a bunch of people out there that have managed to get that far, and this is all they do every day. Is they get up in the morning and figure out what new video they're going to make for YouTube, and then figure out how to monetize it and live off of it. We ain't there yet, okay? We may never get there. So I'm just one dude out there on YouTube trying to do the best I can, trying to bring you something that's interesting, that's fresh. It's maybe a personality change from everybody else that's out there to listen to. If I'm doing a good job, great. If I'm not, unsubscribe and go watch that. That's all I can tell you. So that's the plan anyways. That's the 6-month board meeting for Chris World TV. You guys are obviously my stockholders. I appreciate you so much for watching the videos, for subscribing, for making comments, for sharing it with others. I know we're really small. I understand that. We're just little baby steps here. That's all we can do right now. So we just take one small victory at a time and do the best we can. So if you like this video, like it. And as always, if you didn't like it, don't like it. And share this video with your friends if you haven't already, and subscribe today so you never miss an episode.